So we're less than 24 hours away from Southgate naming his first England squad of 2022. Some interesting decisions for Southgate to make with this squad. I'm going to be taking a look at the options he's got, right from the goalkeepers up to the forwards. So straight off, goalkeepers I think are going to pick themselves. Pickford, Ramsdale and Pope are going to be the three goalkeepers that get picked for this squad. I think Pickford will start in goal, and I think rightly so. He never lets England down. I think, again, I'm a big fan of Pickford. Anyone who's watched this channel previously will know that. Ramsdale is clearly, though, pushing him for that number one jersey, and rightly so. We should have real good competition in all areas of the pitch. But for me, Pickford would start, but those three goalkeepers aren't going anywhere. Gets a lot more interesting, though, doesn't it, when we start to look at the defence. Let's start with the right back position. Obviously, Kieran Trippier's out injured at the moment. And then you've got Kyle Walker, safe pair of hands. But you've ultimately got two of the best right backs in world football, in Trent Alexander-Arnold and Rhys James. Rhys James obviously just coming back from injury. Trent Alexander-Arnold seems to assist every time he just even looks at the ball. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for him to pick two of them. It depends what system he plays. Does he go three at the back? Does he play four at the back? I think Trent Alexander-Arnold has to start. He has to be in this squad. He will be in this squad. No doubt about that. But I think it's now time for him to stand up and be given the chance to play. And then looking at the left back position, because this is where I think we could fit Rhys James in. Luke Shaw currently is not fit, or he's not obviously on the best form neither when he's in. Chilwell is obviously out injured for the rest of the season. So that leaves a gap at left back. Obviously you've got Kyle Walker-Peters as well. I'm hearing talk about James Justin. I think if you've got Rhys James in, he isn't going in on that right. I think he's well worth giving a go on the left. And who knows, you know, a team with Rhys James and PAA on it, on either wing, pretty exciting for me. But I think those two are definitely going to be in the squad. Whether Kyle Walker-Peters comes in as well, just to cover that gap in the left-back position with Chilwell and Shaw being out injured or not in form, will be interesting to see. So let's see what Southgate goes for, but they're the other options he's got. Centre-back is again a difficult one. Harry Maguire, who's probably the most hated footballer at Man United at the moment, wrongly accused of being that terrible. He's not obviously on good run of form, but I think he's getting a lot of stick. John Stones seems to have gone back to John Stones of the old, or what was regressing. He now doesn't seem to be getting game time again. Tyrone Mings is the same. He doesn't seem to be playing that well. He's getting game times, but I don't know, is his form the best? Do I trust Tyrone Mings at the back? I'm not a huge fan of Tyrone Mings myself, so I'd like to see somebody else come in. I think Southgate will start with Maguire, probably Stones even. I think he will. But we've got to see, haven't we? Connor Cody and I think Tomori come into this squad. Tomori, from what all I'm hearing, every single time I read anything related to Italian football, he's been a real important player for AC Milan this season, who are obviously flying at the top of the league. Connor Cody obviously scored the winner this past week. Great run of form, playing well in a really good team. I think he has to come in because we've got to look at these other options. And then of course there's Rhys Oxford. I know nothing about Rhys Oxford, but apparently he's doing really well in the Bundesliga. Is it a chance for Southgate to have a look? There's not going to be many opportunities this year for Southgate to take a look. Obviously though, some of these players are going to come into the under-21 team. The England under-21 teams do also have 2 games during this time, so it may be a chance for them to go into that squad rather than the senior. Looking into midfield, then obviously you've got Declan Rice, you've got Henderson, the usual players. Calvin Phillips is obviously out injured. That gives us a chance then to bring back in, I think we've got to see Gallagher, haven't we? Emil Smith-Rowe as well. Love to see him come back in. Jacob Ramsey's another one I'd like to see called up to the squad. I want to see him, see what he can do. Jude Bellingham obviously has got to be in there for me. Maybe this is his chance to get some game time next to Rice. But there's plenty of options there for Southgate, even with Phillips out injured. It's the first time I can remember that England have actually strength in depth in the centre of the park. It's usually been an area for years we've struggled with. We have had world-class players in the sense of Lampard and Gerrard and Scholes, but throughout all my time growing up in the noughties and nineties, you thought if any single one of those are injured, that there was nothing behind them at all. But you feel like that isn't the case now. There's a lot of players who can come into the centre of the park, and I think this is a good opportunity to see them. And then up front, you've got another set of issues. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin obviously was injured for a while. He's come back in, not scoring goals. Kane is quite famously had a bad run of form, but he's now starting to pick back up. So obviously he's going to be in the squad. But we've got to be looking at other players again. For me, Ivan Toney has to be in this squad, as does Jared Bowen. I know he's just coming back from injury or he's injured, but unless he's going to have faith in picking him for the UEFA Nations League games, which he may do, particularly if he carries on this form. So Bowen, not injured, is straight into this squad, but he is coming back from injury, so that may keep him out. But all in all, I think it's going to go either two ways. We're going to get a very new look England squad with a lot of potential to see a lot of new players, or Southgate's going to stick with tried and trusted team and work towards that World Cup finals and obviously the UEFA Nations Leagues that's coming up. Personally, I'd like to see these players come in, give them a go. Switzerland and Ivory Coast, I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities to change things around, see what players feel like, even just to get them in that senior squad feeling. So heaven forbid if we do have any major injuries during the Nations League or the World Cup, it's not going to be the first time any of these players are coming into a senior level. So I think it's going to be a really interesting squad. From what I'm hearing, the squad's going to actually be a bit bigger than what it usually is, so that bodes well actually for him to bring in quite a few new faces. But I'm sure there's somebody I've missed off this list who probably deserves a place, and that is the beauty of following England at the moment. There literally is a list that you cannot keep track of so many different players in different positions who are playing good football and playing well for their clubs and are young, exciting players. And it's a great time to be an England fan. They've got so many exciting prospects out there. It's just finding a way to give them game time, isn't it? And give them a chance. Like I said, some of those can go into the under-21 teams, which I think they will. So that may exclude them from being included in the senior squad. But I think now's the chance. I do think if I was Southgate, I'd be using these two friendlies to experiment a little bit and get to see them face to face, personally up close, at senior level at international football. But thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you all tomorrow. I'll be uploading another video tomorrow once the squad is dropped, giving my reaction and thoughts. I hope to see some of you at the game the following weekend. And thank you very much for watching.